Cher did. She got to 3 beach towns this weekend. First Miami, then Fire Island in New York, and finally Provincetown on the tip of Cape Cod in Massachusetts. And she did it all for Hillary Clinton. Cher was the headliner for the Clinton campaign at fundraisers in each of those beach towns. Cher knows something about tough elections. The year that she won her Oscar for Best Actress, she was in the toughest category in the Oscars. Take a look at who she was up against. Meryl Streep, who had already won a couple of Oscars. Glenn Close, who already had several Oscar nominations and would have several more. Holly Hunter, a future Oscar winner. And Sally Kirkland, who turned in an extraordinary performance that year in Anna. Cher didn't just win an Oscar. She won an Oscar against the toughest competition that the Best Actress category has ever seen. She's now hoping to bring her winning magic to the Clinton campaign on election night. And Cher is joining us now by phone from her home in Los Angeles. Cher, thank you very much for doing this tonight.
Hi, Lawrence. I'm such a big fan.
Oh, well, there's 2 fans talking to each other here. So you flew around the East Coast for Hillary this weekend?
Yes, I did.
And where did you have the most fun? Come on, Miami, Fire Island, or Provincetown?
Well, they were all different, but you know, seeing her and listening, she gave the most amazing. I don't know, you know, it didn't sound like a speech, and I'm sure she said the same things before, but I just, you know, as I said, she's not a good speaker, but that was a really good speech. I was kind of mesmerized, and I thought she looked so cute and so fresh, and I said to her, you know, I've been doing this for 3 days and I'm dead. How are you doing it? You know, just tell me, how are you doing it? And she said, I just love it. And she looked, and I'm not saying this because of this other stuff about, you know, she's got whatever she's got, I don't know. But she just looked so pretty.
How long have you known Hillary Clinton?
I worked on her Senate campaign, and I didn't really know her when I did it. I just was interested. I was interested to meet a woman that the GOP had been vilifying since before she got into office. I wanted to know who she was and how did she cause all this.
You've got a lot of experience, or real experience, on the presidential campaign trail, because I remember the first time I ever saw you in a political venue, and it was with Michael Dukakis, presidential candidate in 1988.
Oh, that's right, and Caroline.
I
totally forgot about that.
Yes, yes, and was that your first venture into presidential politics, Michael Dukakis, 1988?
Yes, it was. The first president I actually knew was Jimmy Carter. We had dinner in the White House with him the first night, and I loved him, but and then I met Bill Clinton later, but the closest relationship I had was with Jimmy Carter, even though I didn't go out and stump for him.
So you've been backstage with presidents and politicians at the presidential level in campaigning. How does Hillary Clinton compare to the presidential candidates you've been around?
Well, I'm kind of amazed at her, and I say, I mean, look, I say what I want, and sometimes I just have both of my high heels in my mouth, okay? But I am surprised. I am surprised at how alive and how generous and how the people really loved her in Provincetown, and I was uplifted by what she had to say, and I might sound, you know, incredulous. It just was, after all she's been through and what she's been going through and how she's been stumping and how she will not quit. She will just not quit. I don't care what anyone throws at her. I don't care how tough the job is. She will not quit.
Well, you're speaking to something that Donald Trump's campaign manager said tonight about Hillary Clinton. Let's listen to that.
I'm not a doctor, but I can see somebody who's not very joyful on the trail, doesn't seem to like the rigors of campaigning.
So, Cher, there's Kellyanne Conway saying that Hillary Clinton is not very joyful on the campaign trail and doesn't like the rigors of campaigning. What's your reaction to that?
Well, my experience, I can only tell you what my experience was in Provincetown, and if you knew me, you would know that nothing could make me say something that I don't believe. And she was amazing. And I had such a great time with her. And at the Greek Theater, we were jumping around like girls because she said something that was so funny, and we were just laughing so hard. And how can I say what I saw? What I saw was real, you know? And I don't care what that chick has to say. I don't like her anyway, and every time she opens her mouth, some smooth piece of dialogue comes out that's not the truth. She really is, she's becoming more like Trump than Trump is becoming like her, and we all know that, you know, lies are mother's milk to him.
Cher, I want you to listen to just one thing that Donald Trump said, and this was when he was speaking in, I guess, his form of outreach to people that you know well. Let's listen to this.
As your president, I will do everything in my power to protect our LGBTQ citizens from the violence and oppression of a hateful foreign ideology.
Cher, what was your reaction when you heard him say that?
Oh, come on. And he says it. He says those letters like a child that's just learning the alphabet, and then pokes his finger in the air for Q. I mean, he's the most disingenuous man I've ever seen. And I want to tell you, my people will not believe him for a minute. And I read that he was at a 7-hour, closed-door meeting with 400 of the most conservative, hate gay people, LGBT community that there are. So how does he go from that meeting to telling my people that he will protect them? One of the reasons that I have gone out to them, because I care for all Americans, and I'm not kidding you. America has been so great for me. I was a poor child. I had dyslexia. Nothing would say that I would succeed in this country, and I did. And I fear for those people, and not just because of my son. I fear for what they will do to those people, to my people.
Cher, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it. I think you've seen how excited the Twitter world has been for the last 24 hours, knowing that you were coming here tonight. Thank you very much, Cher.
Thank you so much, Lawrence. I was so excited talking to you, and I hope you invite me again.
How about tomorrow night? Or any time.
Okay, it's great.
Thank you, Cher.
Bye.
Okay. Coming up, the Trump campaign's newest excuse. And this is an amazing one for why the polls do not show Donald Trump winning.